And hell's coming with me. Hello, everybody. Oh, I should probably those to it. Hello, everybody. Trying out a slightly different camera placement today. I've moved the pencil light so that it's visible on screen. The good vibes sign is more readable, although that's nothing that I've done. It's just dimmer tonight for some reason. And I don't know why. But it works. You can read it now. It is blocked slightly by my head, but in general, like just actively looking at it, it is dimmer than usual. I think I prefer this camera setup too. It's easier for me to look into the camera because I'm not being blinded by my ring light, which is still up behind the camera. I think this is a better angle because you know, before it was kind of looking down on me and I was having to look up here, but this feels more natural for looking at the camera. I'm still probably going to play around with stuff between streams, kind of, you know, try some different stuff out. How is everyone doing tonight? How are my people? Stuff around. Don't know that I really want this. I need this in shot. What I want to do at some point, just next time I'm out and about maybe, is get some just cheap bookends so that I can stand this up. I've got a few other graphic novels lying around that I could have up. It would just kind of add to the like artsy space, I guess. Maybe put some of my I've got a few like game art books just under my bed right now. That could work to fill the space. I also want to get a few more of these because this one is currently, again, being blocked by me. And this one is kind of off camera and it's also kind of dark. So maybe grab a few more displays, pop one here-ish and here-ish maybe. But it will come together. Okay. Are we ready to do some drawing? Move that over a bit. And now, as you can see, this can be seen actually on the drawing screen. Should you crochet a flower bouquet or angel wings? That's entirely up to you. We still didn't do my chat. Hello, Adam. A flower bouquet or angel wings? I think go for the flower bouquet. Yeah, because Adam has said angel wings. I suggested the flower bouquet. Okay. This, I'm not actually starting on the comic straight away. We're going to do some slight character designs before that. But just to show you the kind of canvas that we're going to be working with. This is going to be a fucking long boy. Because we're doing this comic webtoon style. Now, for those who don't know, well, you know, if you're watching a VOD or what have you, I've had a plan in my head for quite a while now to make a comic, just like a short webtoon style comic, based off of a song. And I've had a few songs in mind of ones that I wanted to do. One is Ghost Riders in the Sky by specifically the Ghoultown version, but Johnny Cash has done a version. There's been it's a decently old song. I've also wanted to do a version that is the entirety of Deloused in the Comatorium by the Mars Volta. But that is a very abstract album with a lot of abstract imagery. That one is something to keep in my back pocket for maybe later. It's not something to start off with, certainly. The final song that I have in my head, at least for now, is Hell's Coming With Me by Poor Man's Poison. Very good song. If you haven't listened to it, check it out. I think it's got a lot of very good imagery in the lyrics. And I've always had a very kind of specific image in mind for some of the like characters and events mentioned in the song, and I think it would be a good little project to work on while we're on stream to bring that vision to life. Thirsty. It also means that I have a few things that I can talk about throughout this process. One being character design. I've got some, there are at least 2 like specific characters in the song, and then there's also like the general townsfolk, which I do have a specific idea for that we'll get into tonight. The 2 characters being the main character, who is bringing hell with him, the drifter passing through the little valley, and there is a black magic preacher. I think those 2 could have some very interesting character designs. Yes, Itale, that is the bald little dude that I drew the other day, that I have not posted to social medias yet, but I plan on it. And I can just open that right now. So yes, there is one character that I've already designed, but we're gonna kind of go into his design, maybe do a bit of a turnaround. That's the thing. This is iteration 1. This is the version of the character that I've already kind of come up with pre-stream. But this is not necessarily the final version of the character that is going to show up in the comic. I already have ideas of how I want to change this design, even though I am very happy with how it's turned out. But this is a good way to kind of jump into the interpretation of the lyrics. What if he's actually a she? Well, it's funny you say that, because I've been listening to this song. Let me just grab my pen that I've dropped. I've been listening to this song in the car while I've been at work quite a bit recently. But I've also been listening to a different version of this song, a cover by Anna Pantsu. I will actually just write down on stream the spelling of the name. Anna Pantsu. She has done a cover of the song, in which she slightly changes some of the lyrics and makes the nameless drifter a she. So we could totally do this. This comic could totally be kind of that version of the story where it is a female lead instead of the male lead. That's also a very good cover of the song. I'll send it to you, Atala, after the stream. I chose that song for my circus girl because I imagine she's the righteous hand of God. Yeah, absolutely. That is very fair. But yeah, we could absolutely explore that idea. Because like I say, this is the version of the character that I came up with just doodling something the other night. But it's not necessarily the version of the character that I'm going to finish with. I want to maybe fuck him up a little bit more. Maybe his drifting between leaving the town and coming back has hardened him a bit more, or her a bit more. Maybe I want to throw in like an eye patch or something in there. Maybe I want to like change up kind of the stylization, the proportions. None of what we have here so far I am set on. But jumping into this real quick, I do want to kind of go into some interpretation of the lyrics. I'm gonna, once we start doing the comic, I'm going to actually like have a typed up version of the lyrics for me to read, but just for this, I have everything I need saved up here because I listen to the song a lot. I'm one of those people who can absolutely sit and listen to the same song over and over and kind of not get sick of it. So, first of all, the main character is meant to be the righteous hand of God. But this doesn't look like a very godly hand. I like the idea, because obviously the song is called Hell's Coming With Me. Not Heaven's Coming With Me, not I'm bringing the wrath of heaven down on you. Hell's coming with me. I like the idea that even though this character sees himself as like a good person, the righteous hand of God punishing the guilty, they've still perhaps made a pact with something that isn't quite good. More of a demonic right hand. This is my right hand. Hello, Wowzer. Great to see you. We're just going over kind of the plan for this evening. To recap, so that you know what's going on, there is a song called Hell's Coming With Me by a band called Poor Man's Poison. It's a very good song, and I have had a project in the back of my mind for a while that I've wanted to do a comic based around a song that I like. And I've had a few songs in mind that could fit the bill. But the one that I have kind of the clearest visuals for, and the one that will not take ages to complete, is this song, this Poor Man's Poison, Hell's Coming With Me. This is an illustration I did just the other night, just kind of doodling, coming up with some shit, of the main character of the song. Someone who is kicked out of this town, village thing, and returns later to kind of punish those who have wronged him. And also to take out like an evil preacher type character. We tonight are going to be designing the characters that are going to show up in this comic. The main ones to talk about are this guy, which I am kind of explaining that even though I've already designed a character here, I'm not married to this design. There are areas that I would like to improve, things that I'd like to change. We also have the design of the black magic preacher to come up with. And there's also various townsfolk that I have an idea in mind for that I'm rather happy with. I don't think this setting is going to be hyper realistic. You know, clearly. I don't think that I want to have like a Wild West fantasy angle to it. Not necessarily with elves and dwarves and shit, but just some kind of some kind of fantastical imagery within the designs in the comic. The comic idea is such a fun idea, Jack. Back in high school, I wrote short stories from poems. That's dope. That's dope. I've wanted to get better at actually writing stories for a while. And that I feel is a good way to start, because there are some poems where it's like, yeah, there's stuff that you could expand on in this. Okay, so back into the interpretation. This character, according to the lyrics, sees himself as the righteous hand of God, but the entire song is called "Hell's Coming With Me." The idea is that they are bringing the wrath of hell to kind of eradicate the people who have wronged this character. So I like the idea that they have made some kind of pact with some otherworldly being, not a god, perhaps a devil. Perhaps we're doing some "the devil went down to Georgia" shit with this. Which is another song that I could do a comic based on, potentially. Because that's also a banger of a song. It was with you, fool. Which is why, in the final version, he will have a jester's hat. As a symbol of the pact he made with you. But yeah, I like the idea that even though he is quote-unquote the righteous hand of God, he sees himself as doing good work. He sees himself as potentially doing God's work. He is doing it through darker means, by a pact with a dark creature, and therefore, instead of having some sort of holy right hand, he has this like demonic claw. Very almost like Bloodborne style of like giving into beasthood type shit. You know? I also like having maybe some sort of little token on the cloak that I've given him to kind of show he has maybe a little keepsake from whatever deal he has made. In general, fashion-wise, I've tried to go with almost like a Wild Westy thing. I'm not super keen on the bright red boots. That's an interesting idea, making him evil. That's the thing, I don't necessarily think he himself is evil. I don't necessarily think the character is a bad person. I almost see it as in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, Matthew Mercer, very popular dungeon master, he does Critical Role. He designed a class called the Blood Hunter. It's very much based on like Geralt from The Witcher, and that kind of like the idea of a monster hunter who is themselves partially a monster. They've transformed themselves to be better at fighting monsters, but that has kind of lessened their humanity somewhat. And this is very much kind of how I see this character, that they are not themselves evil. They are still trying to do a good thing. The people of this town are not necessarily good people. The preacher practices dark evil magic. The townsfolk are vindictive. It's not a good place. And so him coming back from revenge, yes, is very much a personal thing for him, but it's also, to an extent, perhaps doing the world some good. So I don't necessarily think the character is evil. I think he's maybe trying to do good with less than good means. You know? It is kind of the way that I'm interpreting this for the purposes of this project. So yeah. I also, Wowza, because you weren't here, I'm gonna real quick show you when we do actually jump into doing the comic portion of this. I'm doing it webtoon style. So this is the kind of canvas that we're going to be working with for this. Very thin, real long. So basically he thinks he's doing right, but he actually isn't. No, I think he is still doing a good thing. But it's perhaps not. He's trying to do the right thing, or he's trying to do the good thing, but with a power that, yes, is kind of inherently evil. And I kind of want to leave it ambiguous at the end how far he goes. Because I don't think I'm going to draw him killing the townspeople, because that's not something that happens directly in the song. He does burn down the church and leave the preacher hanging from a rope, which is going to be interesting kind of visuals to try and create without just straight up drawing a man being hung. But yeah, also by going into kind of this, having this power corrupt the main character, this opens up questions of what the hell does the black magic preacher look like? A preacher that practices black magic regularly. If this is from one deal, what the hell does someone who regularly practices evil magic look like? And that's something that we're going to get into today. That is the wrong thing. And we are going to change the canvas size to make it significantly bigger. I quite like working on quite big canvases, because you can always crop if you need to. Okay. I also, because I don't think I've ever posted anything with this so far, I have a signature that I just have saved separately that I can just plop into any piece. Okay, let's start doing some character designs. We're just gonna like fade him out so he's not super there. Hello, Suonova! It's great to see you. Again, to just quickly go over the plan then, because we have because you weren't here. I've had this project in the back of my mind for a little while. I want to create a comic based on a song. There are a number of songs that I like that I have kind of very, very clear imagery in my head for, based on the lyrics, based on you know, the happenings of the song. Some of the ones I have in mind are Ghost Riders in the Sky, which is like an old Western song. You just did one. Oh, that's brilliant. I need to see that at some point. That is amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to send me that at some point. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely, yeah. Feel free to post the link. And everyone check out Suo's artwork. So yeah, some of the songs I have in mind are Ghost Riders in the Sky, Johnny Cash has done a version of it, Ghoul Town have done a version of it. There's also D-Loused in the Comatorium by the Mars Volta, which is a whole album and it's a very abstract kind of album. There's a lot of abstract visuals that I kind of have in mind for it, and that would take a long time and it would be very difficult, and I don't want to do that for my first kind of song comic thing. So the one that I'm starting with, the one that I have the clearest visuals for, is Hell's Coming With Me. Oh, hell yeah. That's dope. That is really, really well done. Adam will be very happy about that. He is a fan of Sleep Token. But yeah, the one that I have chosen to do is Hell's Coming With Me by Poor Man's Poison. It's the one that I have the clearest visuals for. I've already done this little guy who is based on the main character of that song. He is, as the song says, the righteous hand of God. Although I'm interpreting that in a slightly different way, which I'll get into more when we start redesigning him, because this is not going to be his final design. I also need to design a preacher that regularly practices black magic, and also some of the townsfolk. Hell yeah, brilliant. I'm glad a lot of people know that song. It is a frankly brilliant song. I've been listening to it a lot. But yeah, that is the basic plan for today, is get some characters designed so that in a future stream, probably next week, probably next Tuesday, we can start working on the comic. So, as Philip DeFranco says, let's just jump into it. So starting off, things that I don't love about the character design that I've already done here. I think he looks too young. I want to maybe make him a little more grizzled, maybe make it so that a bit more time has passed, but like, this face might be used like at the start of the comic when he's being kicked out of the town. But later when he passes through that little valley because he promised he was coming back to town, I want him to look a little more grizzled, maybe give him like an eye patch or something, just some scars, make it look like he's had like an actual journey. I like the claw. I'm probably keeping the claw, though I might change it up slightly. I'm not super stoked on the bright red cowboy boots. I might make them a little more practical, but who knows? Maybe he's just a fashionable bitch. And also, as Atala suggested earlier, perhaps it's not a he, because there is a version of the song Hell's Coming With Me, a cover by I wrote it here, Anna Pantsu. She's done a lot of covers. She does a lot of like Disney covers. She did a version of Friends on the Other Side from The Princess and the Frog, which is very good. She's also done a version of It's Tough to Be a God from The Road to El Dorado. And one of my favorites, which I didn't know she'd done until recently, she did what's the song called? Let me just get it up in Spotify. I'm not playing it for obvious reasons. Why Should I Worry from Oliver and Company, a movie that I very much enjoy, and a song from that movie that I very much enjoy. if people haven't seen Oliver and Company, watch Oliver and Company. It's delightful. I know it is just sorry, I've got a, oh no, it's a lip. Your cat is named after that movie. I've never put two and two together for that, actually. I've never noticed that your orange cat is called Oliver and is likely named after Oliver and Company. Oliver and Company is a great movie. I used to love that movie. I haven't seen it in years. I might watch it again at some point fairly soon because it's been too long. Yeah, she's done those covers. They are very good. And she has likewise done a cover of Poor Man's Poison, Hell's Coming With Me. But in her version of the song, in her cover, she changes the pronouns of the main character to she. Instead of he wiped the blood from his face as he slowly came to his knees, she sings, she wiped the blood from her face as she slowly came to her knees. She said, I'll be back when you least expect, and hell's coming with me. So, you know, maybe changing it to a female protagonist. I often enjoy designing female characters more. I don't know why. I play a lot of female D&D characters. That's something I'll unpack later. Yeah. That could be a kind of fun twist on it. Can I show... yes. Anna Pantsu. It's the name Anna and the Japanese word for underwear. Pantsu. She is not, as far as I'm aware, Japanese, so I don't know why she chose that name. But she might be. I don't actually know what she looks like in real life. Just because I've never really had the desire to look that up. But yeah. And honestly, Atala, if you want me to just send you the song, she does have covers with Jonathan Young, including what's the fucking again? Separate Ways. You know, someday love will find you, break those chains that bind you. Another incredible song and a very good cover of it. She's done a cover of Viva La Vida by Coldplay, which, you know, regardless of your opinion on Coldplay, that song's a banger. So yeah, let's just jump into kind of redesigning this character. The thumbnail of that Hell's Coming With Me cover does like look a bit like your circus girl. Let's just get into some face shapes, maybe a bit more of a something like this. The thing with designing a character for a comic versus just an illustration, I found, is that you kind of want to lean slightly simpler with some stuff because you're going to be drawing the character over and over again as opposed to just a one-off illustration. By the way, let me know. It is raining right now, and I don't know how noticeable it is over the stream. Although that might add to it, you know, I know a lot of like lo-fi tends to put rain sounds in the background because it can be quite relaxing for people. So let me know if it's not an issue. I just found another girl cover of that song and it has the same ginger long hair thumbnail. Yeah, I think I know exactly which one you're talking about because I heard that one first and then realized, oh, Anna Pantsu has a cover as well. And no shade to the other person, I prefer Anna Pantsu's version. For these kind of face sketches and like the kind of character design sketches that I'm going to be doing for this, I am going to be... I'm not going to be finishing them quite as much as I usually do. They probably won't even get color. Kind of want them to have like just completely white, almost haunted eyes. I think that's a fun thing we could do. Maybe add hair instead of having the character be bald. I had no particular reasoning for the character being kind of bald when I was doing it. It just seemed like a fun character design. Now here's the thing, if I was being a massive bitch, this is a very kind of Wild Westy song. I'm giving it a fantasy angle already, and it's about a character that's been wrong returning to a supernatural town in order to get some kind of revenge. If I was being a massive bitch, I could make this song about one of my D&D characters, Aurora Delacroix. A character that all of my friends are so sick of me talking about because she's frankly one of my favorite characters I've ever played. And I do want to bring her back for another campaign at some point, because she was just fun to play. So I totally could do that if we're going with a female character angle. Who's that? Oh, I could bring up some art. Because I drew the bitch recently. But I'm not actually going to do that. I don't necessarily... Or do I want to make this about my own D&D character? Am I gonna be that much of an asshole? The thing is, I really like the demonic arm angle, and I do really wanna keep that in the comic. And my D&D character didn't have that. That's not a thing that is part of her design. It's not something I really want to add as part of her design. So I think, just to keep this one element that I do very much like, and I do like the visuals of, like, you know, as she raised her fist before she spoke, she raises that hand, the demon claw. I think just to keep this somewhat sane, I'm gonna do this with a completely new character and not just rehash one of my old D&D characters. However, in my own personal time, I might not do a full comic of it, but I might draw Aurora in this situation. Just for funsies, just a little bit of fun. Because like I say, she's one of my favorite characters I've ever played, and I just cannot seem to let go of things. And I will play her again if one of you let me. I have wanted to know what she'd be like in Pathfinder for a long while. Yeah, but I still enjoyed playing her, so shut up. Like, come on, all my characters suck. And half of them are stolen from Ruby, unfortunately. That's not true, not half of them. More than that. If we're going for an eye patch, maybe I have like, maybe that's the token. Maybe we get like a little. Is that too much? I think that's a bit too much. Maybe give him kind of some unshaven stubble. Like, I kind of want this character to be like harrowed, you know? So there's an option. So far, the character hasn't had a hat. I did consider having the character come into town with like a hood up, but having a hat pulled down over their eyes could also be fun. I too, I've always had very like Wild West kind of vibes from this song, which might be because it's like a country rock song, you know. It's got very much like, the song itself has very much yeehaw vibes. The other thing, even though I'm not necessarily doing it in this, it's inevitable that one day I'm gonna draw Aurora on stream, so I hope the people who know me in real life are ready for that. People draw their OCs all the time, and at this point I think she's evolved from just being a D&D character to being a full-on OC. This. We could always go with like the kind of ginger red hair of either the Anna Pantsu version or the other version, because that seems to be a common thing that people are seeing for this character for some reason. One thing that I do kind of want to make clear is no matter what, I want this character design to be like practical. I like character designs that are practical and not just, ooh, titty out, you know? Maybe do something like this, where there's just like one eye showing. I don't know why, I'm liking the kind of one eye imagery. Even if the character doesn't necessarily only have one eye. I'm also liking these just like kind of blank, white, almost vacant eyes. I think we need to make sure it's... The character's probably not going to look very happy ever in this, so we don't need to worry about, you know, what's this character's smile look like. We could also have like elements of whatever demonic corruption is a kind of changing the hand. We could have elements of that kind of sneaky up into the face too if we want, almost like not quite like tiefling style, because obviously that's more of a birth thing, but I guess mechanically we, you know, almost like a tiefling style of, you know, being partially devilish or demonic. Liking also I don't know, part of me wants the eyes to be kind of wide set. As we're kind of doing this and working through, you know, some character designs, does everyone have a preference as to whether we do this with the original kind of lyrical idea of having a male protagonist, or the Anapantsu version of having a female protagonist? What's people's opinions on that? I really like the female idea. Lately I'm into strong, independent women characters. Yeah. That is I don't know what it is. Sometimes I'll come up with a character idea, and in my head it'll be a dude, and I'm kind of developing the character idea. Sometimes, often for D&D, and then at some point I'll go, well, what if it was a woman? And somehow that ends up being cooler. Sometimes it's just I don't know, it adds something to the character. somehow, but I'm not sure what. You know. But yeah, Fool or a Clown, Wowzer, Suanova, what if anything, do you guys have any thoughts on which version we do? Because I also think, while we're doing this, so the original version of the song, the kind of main character is male. He, him pronouns are used throughout the song. But there is a cover version of the song that is sung by Anna Pantsu, who changes the lyrics to be to make it a female protagonist. Do you have any kind of opinions on if we, for the purposes of the comic, make the protagonist female, or just keep with the male of the original song? Because I'm open to both. I think both could be a good idea. And the thing with a lot of these designs that I'm kind of just throwing down right now, we could edit a lot of these to be you know, the opposite or a different gender. I think for the sake of the story, the gender is completely irrelevant. So my vote is androgyny. That is an interesting angle. Even if you meant that as a even if you meant that as a shitpost, that is genuinely an interesting angle for it. They wiped the blood from their faces as they slowly came to their knees. Okay, that's something that we could work on. Well, so far these character designs have been pretty alright so far. I don't love Devilman over here. Okay. That's fair. I do like that idea. Almost have a I say either completely genderless, like a mask or shadowed face, or androgynous features. Shadowed face in every panel could go kinda hard though. It could go kinda hard. Ooh. 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 Yeah. Yeah, I like that. With the imagery that I have in mind, that's gonna be tricky to pull off. But man, if I pull that off, that's gonna look fucking sick as hell. I'm gonna say the word that you love me saying. That's gonna look so fucking choice, dude. It's gonna look so choice. Sorry, Atala, you got outvoted. That is too cool. That is too dope. Okay. Then if we're gonna do that, for the purposes of just coming up with character like creation, I think I'm gonna go with something kind of a mix between like the original one we did and this version. Kind of androgynous features that are mostly gonna be in shadow throughout the entire thing, because having a shaved head isn't, you know, exclusive to dudes, of course. So I like something around this. And if that's the case, then I am going to go with these kind of... Oh, not quite pinprick, but like all white eyes. These the kind of like burning white with hatred. Piercing through the shadow that is constantly over their face. Okay. That is super fun. So let's start on some more full body character stuff. I think we're, like I say, we're gonna go similar to what we've already established over there. Including having a kind of bigger head. I just like that kind of look. Maybe we give them a hood. Kind of a clasp over here. Reposition some shit. See, this is why I like doing projects like this on stream. Because I would have never gone with that thought on my own. You know? Of having the main character's idea be completely kind of shrouded in mystery. I think for a lot of the comic, like up until the bit where yeah, they don't have an identity. Like I say, in the actual song, he, him, the pronouns are used. But when we're typing up the bits, we can just change that to they, them. You know, obviously, this isn't like a commissioned thing by Poor Man's Poison. I'm not doing this for them. This is very much a quote-unquote personal project. We can kind of do whatever we want with it, you know? And I think applying things like gender to someone called the Hand of God just removes them from the fact that they're more a force than a person. Absolutely. Again, very, very good point of like... This goes back to what I was saying earlier, where it's someone trying to do right, but with a power that is not necessarily good. I like the idea that they are no longer really a person. And it's more just... Sorry, let me readjust. It's more just that they are so consumed by their hatred that they are a force. You know? I'm gonna turn my heating off real quick because it's getting a little sweaty in here. So, be back in a second. And I didn't fuck up my PC this time. Of course, I'm sure there'll be someone who stumbles across this and goes, pronouns. How can they be they, them, they're one person? But, like, I don't... That's not the kind of person I care about. I'm not gonna create content just to avoid that. Oh, like, I'm not gonna create content in a certain way just to avoid that. Like... That's one thing I will say. For the most part, I don't really want to get, like, political on these streams. I want this to be a nice, chill place where people can just come to hang out, but I feel like it's important to, at least once, and also probably in my rules when I eventually go to, like, get stuff like that set up, to just kind of make sure my stance on it is known. I'm not necessarily going to shy away from stuff, but you know. Yes, that is absolutely a rule that I'm going to implement because sod that. If I can tell that you're intending to say something that breaks the rule without breaking the rule, then sod you, you know, you are still actively being malicious about that. That is something I'm gonna look into. I don't I want to be careful with that just in case people are trying to say something else that has a similar term or something, but that is definitely something that I'm going to use. Yeah. It's like the idea that this character has like a cloak. And I like the idea that it, like, for most of the comic, it's going to be draped over like one side. You can in the Twitch settings too. Yeah, I don't know if the Stream Elements chatbot is just more robust, or whether it is just something that hasn't that we haven't looked into. I'll definitely like have a look around, see what's available to me as a streamer. Under moderation. Dope. Thank you very much, Wowzer. That is genuinely very useful information. There you can permit and ban terms. Brilliant. If I remember correctly, Will, I remember you talking about, at the very least, the Stream Elements chatbot one. Because I remember you saying that it feels really bad to write in certain words because you have to write out those words, even though you're doing it for like a good thing to make sure it's not said in your stream. It sucks to write out certain slurs. But I'd rather be the one to write them out once than to give people the option of writing them out many times, you feel me? And realistically, I'd rather people just didn't fucking say them. But we live in this world, unfortunately. Yeah, I want this stream, I want this channel to be a place where people can come and just kind of forget about the troubles of like day-to-day life and a lot of the really awful shit that's going on in the world, and just have a nice place to come decompress. Maybe they've had a bit of a hard day at work and they just want to sit down with a nice cup of tea or beverage of their choice and have a bit of fun, watch some art, maybe work on some projects of their own, and at some point eventually maybe get some feedback on projects. I'd love to do something like that, like not necessarily like a portfolio review or anything, because I am not an expert in that kind of stuff. Do this on a new layer so that these are just... What I'm gonna do is just like black out the face, which is again an awful thing for me to have said, you know, unfortunately, but it is technically what we're doing. And then I'm gonna like carve out areas where you would see just a little bit of shine. So like I say, I want the eyes to be like piercing through the darkness. Get some like almost rim lighting on some stuff. We could even have like a bit more. There's like a bit of light kind of peeking out like that. Like that's gonna be the definitely a thing. Figuring out exactly how much shadow I want to use in here. Like, are we just doing kind of the top half of the face, or are we, you know, getting a little more in shadow? Finding a good balance is gonna be difficult, but not impossible. I also don't necessarily want the character's features to just blend in with like the shadow back here of the hood. have some... Oh, this is certainly just like carving out interesting shapes. Like this, what once was bags, almost gives the eyes like a glowing appearance. Yeah, that's definitely a way to do it. And I certainly don't blame you because, you know, like we said, writing out that list sucks. Just get Brad to do it for you under threat of violence. All your shadows have been lovely. And so have mine. And I'm very grateful that you guys are my chatters. I'm very grateful to have you guys chilling with me at the start of my stream journey. Yeah, it takes one asshole to ruin everything, unfortunately. Kind of want to round off this jawline a bit. Yeah. In general, I do kind of want to implement, that's the word I was looking for, a policy of like kind of no bummers. And that's like not like, you know, if someone wants to kind of come in and vent about a shitty day they've had, I want them to be able to do that. But like, I don't know. I'll figure out exactly what I want at some point. Yeah. Meanwhile, back to the art. This kind of going hard. Kind of what you did for your streams, yeah? Yeah, honestly, it's a good policy to have. Because again, like I say, I want it to be somewhere that someone can come in from a shitty day at work, or, you know, even just a normal day at work, which is already kind of low-level shitty at the best of times, usually. And just kind of come, decompress, vibe. They don't necessarily have to chat. If they don't want to, they can just enjoy some art. Maybe have a laugh or two occasionally. Because I am hilarious. And I'm also amazing and beautiful. Some things are just banned on site, yeah. Oh, thank you. Like I say, though, genuinely, I know it's probably a bit early in my career to be getting soppy at shit like this, but like, I couldn't have asked for a better kind of audience to start with. You guys have been genuinely amazing. I feel like even just in the what, couple weeks I've been doing this, like doing it properly, I guess, I've learned a lot, and a lot of it's been with help from you guys. So genuinely, thank you. Thank you for showing up to the streams and just coming to vibe. Oh, thank you. Just showing your best side, don't let it fool you. Hey, man. You can consider me fooled already. And you can consider Will fool already. You've seen the worst already, have you? When it came to the frog butts. Nah, frog booty was amazing. And no, Will, I will not boil myself. Because again, I'm hilarious and awesome. I know I said earlier that one of the things with kind of designing characters for a more of a comic situation as opposed to just designing an illustration is you want to keep things maybe a little bit simpler, so that because you're going to be drawing the character over and over again. But that being said, should this arm maybe have some kind of tattoos? Because that could be fun. Or should we just kind of keep it blank? You drawn complex OCs over and over and crying while making them. I, especially for like a period of about 3 years, I've kind of slowed down on it now. But for a long time, pretty much all I drew was like my own and my friends' D&D characters. And let me tell you, Fooler a Clown is a bastard, man, and I love him for it. Because some of the character designs that motherfucker has come up with and I have therefore drawn, some of the most complex bullshit. We have been over this. Here's the thing, I'm not necessarily complaining, because you're right, your characters are often my favorites. Like, I say this lovingly, and I say this loving all of your characters. The amount of patterns in the clothing that you pick You know I've got to draw this shit, right? Pattern machine go brr. See, this looks too hand-like. I want it to be more monstrous claw. Yeah, well, you're not the sociopath that is Fool. At some point during this stream, if people want, can pull I can see if I can find some designs of characters that I've drawn for Fool. The one I have in mind, and the one I imagine Fool has in mind, is of course Rourke, his illusion wizard from our home D&D campaign. Brad does have the folder if I need them, because I uploaded a bunch to like OneDrive or Dropbox or something. So I might have them there, but if not, I can get Brad to send me some of the Rourke designs. Because I've taken to kind of referring to Rourke as the peacock. Because man, oh, well, rather, I guess, no, yeah, the peacock. Because man, that motherfucker is brightly colored. And bearing in mind, this is the same campaign in which my character literally has, like, an illusory set of armor that he can make look however he wants. And even he is not the most ostentatious bitch in the party. Because Rourke's there. Because Rourke's always there. He's a dandy man. There's some of that art that I've told, that I've said before, that I want to redo, because I'm not super happy with a lot of my old art, as is the curse of artists. A lot of the time we see our old stuff and we go, oh, I could do that so much better now. So even though I'm complaining about it, I will draw Rourke again. Obviously I'll draw Rourke again because when Brad gets round to running again, he will almost definitely have a new outfit design. Because there's always a new outfit for a new arc. Which, to be fair, my character will have too. Not be batshit wild as Rourke's, but alright. I also still need to draw the Pathfinder version of Rourke, because in a different campaign that is not Dungeons & Dragons, Fool runs a Pathfinder game that also hasn't ran in a while. Not a dig, I also have a campaign that I haven't even started yet. But he has that campaign, and Rourke has shown up as an NPC. Friend of the party. And he is currently captured by the bad guys. So we need to work on that. And I need to do that version of Rourke, because that version of Rourke also has a different fucking outfit. It's fine, I love the character designs. They're fun, they're so fun. He is fashionable. He's always dripped the fuck out. And I reposition this foot a bit. Repositioned it slightly. Oh, no, that's fine. Man, that's one thing I definitely need to get better at, is doing feet in perspective. And drawing feet in general. I don't want to get too good at drawing feet, because that gets suspicious. But you know, I want to get decent at drawing every aspect of a character. But yeah, okay. I think this character design is coming together. Like I say, I'm not going to be coloring this, at least not straight away. This is literally just a sketch to like get the basics down. Just kind of indicate that all of this is going to be shaded as hell. Something I am keeping from the original design is just shade the hell out of the character. Probably shade them more, honestly, you know, because I don't want this to stand out too much. Yeah. We have the Drifter. Which that is, you know, we can refer to them as the Drifter or the Righteous Hand of God or whatever. I like the Drifter as just like the way we refer to him or them. Just for, you know, brevity's sake. Because saying the Righteous Hand of God every time is going to be, yeah, it's going to be a mouthful. And that's how they're referred to in the song. They themselves refer to themselves as the Righteous Hand of God. But in the song, it's always, you know, it is there is a drifter passing through that little valley. But he'd promised he was coming back to town. They didn't know him by his face or by the gun around his waist, but he'd come back to burn that town to the ground. In this case, we'll change that to they and them. The Drifter. Drifter is also just like a cool name. A motorbike. We could go with almost like a steampunky. I do want to go almost like steampunky kind of Magitech kind of deal, so we could do that. There is one problem with giving this character a motorbike, and that is that I would have to draw a motorbike. And that sucks. But I do want to get better at doing that. And I would say horse, but that's too Western, so a bike would work better in your opinion. To be fair, drawing a bike is probably better than drawing a horse. thinking about it. We'll keep it in mind. I had the visual. We can just like write down over here. Just so we don't forget it. No, no. You will not have me drawing a horse. If you get me to draw a horse, I'm just gonna draw a fucking Drawfee Jacob horse. A horse bike hybrid. The artist's worst nightmare. If you get me to draw a horse, I am just gonna like... I'm just gonna steal the Jacob horse from Drawfee. Wait, a robot horse, half robot, half horse. So you want me to draw a cyborg horse? He's more machine now than horse. A bike with horse legs or a horse with wheels and handlebars? Well, that second one is basically just the Master Cycle Zero from Legend of Zelda. A bike with horse legs. So, you know, there's like the main part of a bike there. And it usually has like there. And there's usually a wheel here. And we can, you know, this is without pulling up a reference. But then you want it to have like horse legs. Like, I guess a tail. Like, that's what you want, Brad? A bike with horse legs? God cries because of this. You know how I said I want this stream to have, like, no bummers? This counts as a bummer. For me, for my heart. Yeah, thank you, Wowzer. Thank you for posting a no emoji, because fuck this. I hope that was a note directed at the horse bike. And not at me declining the horse bike. I'm gonna take that as being in my favor. You wanted steampunk, you can have all the gears you can have imagined to draw. That is also an unfortunate thing about this, is I will have to draw many gears. And that also kind of sucks. But again, practice. So we'll maybe give the main character a bike. We'll think about it. Me no like horse bike. Yeah, me either, Wowzer. It is awful. But, in the meantime, let's design the Black Magic Preacher. I kind of want him to be like, overall, like triangular in appearance. Like thin head, kind of body widening out. Maybe some stubby little legs. Make him an octagon. Nah, that's too round. Kind of want him to be lumpy as hell, though. Get some, like, beady ass eyes up in here. I heard a bike with horse legs while watching a video about Inkscape. Yeah, that's not a phrase that anyone likes to hear. I kind of want this preacher to be monstrous. And again, it could be like a but think about how much horsepower the bike would have. I'm really tempted to ask Atala to ban you for that, but I won't. You're on thin fucking ice, though. I make the terrible puns in this stream. The answer would be one, yeah. To be fair, Tali, you could ban him if I unmodded him. That is interesting to note, though, that you can't ban other moderators. Oh well. I guess you can ban other moderators. I mean, if he can ban you, Tala. Oh no. You tried to ban Bessie once when he was a moderator. Now, why would you do that, Atala? Why would you do that to Bestie? Thanks for trying, though, fool. We in the biz call it diplomatic immunity. There's nothing diplomatic about you. You could ban me, but then I'd have to leave. I don't want you. I don't want Wowzer to be banned. Yeah, exactly. You and Nova are the only decent people here. I can't say good because you are still in like my stream, and I think that's like a bad for humanity. But you know, I think you're cool. Again, probably an indictment overall, but back to working on your hat. You're making a hat? you do crochet, don't you? Beanie hat. I don't want to give him like long, cracked, dirty nails. You lost the last one you made? Oh no! How did you lose it? Did you just like misplace it? Figured if I finish a new one, I'll find the lost one. Yeah, sod's law. But at that point, you'll have 2 hats. It's always good to have a spare. Ooh. Give me just a second. I'm actually going to switch over to this cam real quick. Speaking of crochet, we have new people in the chat who haven't seen this yet. Sorry, there is a bunch of shit on my bed. But Lala Lady made this for me. He is my son. I love him so much. His name is Gobble. You have Tiny Charmander? Back you go, foul demon. And an Enderman. Oh, hell yeah. Enderman Mike friend. Hell yeah. The other one that I have from her is a little red dragon. And he sits over here on my collection of D&D dice. He guards my hoard. He's got a purple arm and a purple leg because I ran out of black yarn. To be fair, purples are perfectly... He's just in the middle of teleporting at all times. Yeah, Dice Dragon. Itala also had it. Okay. I would imagine the preacher like a reaper. Super tall, incredibly thin. His face is super long and bony. Like he still has skin, but is super thin and has this big black, like reapery preacher vibe clothes. That is also an interesting... We'll go through like a few possible iterations of the preacher. I had a very different idea in mind, as you can see here. I almost see him as this large, gluttonous character, like overfed, all kind of lumpy and bumpy and kind of gross. You know, a little bit of smush on his running down from his mouth, because of the chorus, which is, of course, and it is well with my soul, you line your pockets full of money that you steal from the poor. I like the idea that, you know, almost like a dragon, he is hoarding resources from those who need it and is gorging himself with the food and the goods. That's kind of the vibes I get from the song. But like I say, we'll be doing multiple kind of passes at this guy, and I can definitely do like a tall, thin Reaper Man vibe. I think the other issue is I'm very much a fan of like the kind of Discworld interpretation of like the Grim Reaper, in which he's not evil, he's actually very friendly. And so I find it hard to kind of... I don't immediately associate like a Reaper vibe with evil necessarily. But I definitely, like I say, we'll do a couple passes, because I have a few different kind of vibes that I have in mind that could work for this guy. Yeah, I remember reading a post ages ago that has kind of stuck with me, that is like, why do people kind of see the Reaper as like a scary, kind of horrible character? If you're walking alone in the dark, wouldn't you want someone there to keep you company and keep you safe? Like, wouldn't... Oh, no. I don't think the Preacher is a cool character. I don't think the Preacher is nice. I think the Grim Reaper as a character would be nice. Like, not in the context of the story, just in general, like the idea of a Grim Reaper. I think makes more sense that he is like a friendly character. I think the Preacher is a piece of shit. I think the Preacher's gonna be a monstrous man. Let me actually just real quick. Should have done this earlier. Grab a kind of image of like classic like Preacher vestments. I did misspell that word. Holy shit, we've been going for nearly 2 hours already. Fuck me. None of these are really what I'm super looking for. Okay, no, there's something. Yeah, something like that. Just copy and paste it into... These images always come out as like being super fucking small. We'll just kind of roughly cut it out. Kind of long robesy, so he will still definitely have kind of those almost like Reaper Man vibes, because you'll have, you know, the long robes and such, but I definitely want him to be more like monstrous. He does kind of look like a Little Nightmares character. That is definitely kind of an inspiration that I do want to take. That kind of... What's kind of the term? Like... You know, the monstrousness of humanity type shit. He also, with his like weird melty chin, kind of has Boomer from Left 4 Dead vibes. Unfortunately, because of his his like humongous chin, I went to say mondo and humongous and accidentally said a bad word. His humongous chin, it kind of hides like the priest collar thing. But we can like walk that back if we need to. Come back to kind of design of the shoes. Let me just actually get rid of these and start again. I do want to go with kind of a simpler art style for these. I'm not trying to like go super realistic. Clearly. I also just in general, I get kind of like small from Dark Souls vibes from like this character. Like maybe there's a little bit of like cannibalism type thing, either as part of like black magic rituals or what have you. If I look up some more. Yes, okay, right. That is more what I'm looking for. Maybe give him like one of these fucking bishopy half cape situations. Now here's the thing, if we're going with like a kind of more fantasy vibe, not necessarily fantasy, but definitely not real world vibe with this, and this is like a black magic preacher he's meant to be, I don't necessarily want to just like start slapping crosses on it, you know? Not necessarily, but we could do kind of a pentagram situation. And maybe some like upside down crosses. But that to me feels a little too like open of I'm a bad guy. Instead of maybe the more like sneaky evil that might, you know, usually show up in like a clergy. I also wanted to have like kind of pointed dress shoes. I want a lot of the elements of this character to be kind of sharp, despite his overall kind of not so sharp appearance. Yeah. Maybe something a little along these lines. Just kind of this doesn't need to be perfect, but I don't want it to be too messy. Ordinarily, if I had been working on this like myself, I would have probably been sat here listening to the song on repeat. But obviously, you know, Twitch TOS. I don't want to run the risk of this stuff getting flagged, you know? Even though, as some of us were talking about earlier before the stream, you're unlikely to get DMCA'd on Twitch. You know, I'm uploading this shit to YouTube afterwards, and also, like, for you guys, I feel like having the song kind of play on repeat would start to irritate. And even if you guys roll right with it, other viewers later on might not love it. Yeah, something a little bit like that is kind of the vibes that I had initially for this character, but I do want to do some exploration. Maybe kind of push some stuff. We can add some more of those like Reaper-y elements to the character. Still want to kind of have this weird like cone head. So maybe we could like have him be more give him some more like gangly Like maybe give him these like weird, really thin arms. Have him look just wholly unnatural. I could even give him one of my signature kind of wonky melty faces by moving just one eye down the head a little bit. I definitely want to have this like unnaturally wide mouth. I want him to look like he's melting. Again, potentially from the just sheer amount of black magic he's been performing. Maybe it's kind of physically rotting him to his core. Like, I don't know what that part of the kind of uniform, the kind of scarf that drapes around is typically called. I don't know if it's clear, but I didn't grow up particularly religious or anything like that. I've not grown up in that sort of environment. Make the eyes smaller and more beady. Maybe add some like wisps of hair. Sporadic kind of sharp, monstrous teeth. Like, I like the idea of this character as, like, was human, but certainly isn't anymore. You know? Oop, shit. Bonking the mic. Pardon. once again, just so that we have it. I'm not gonna like color these, at least not tonight. Maybe next stream we'll kind of go in and refine some of the designs. And figure out colors and such. But I do at least want to like show the tone of this character that I have in mind, which is just like incredibly pale white skin, like almost more, maybe taking on more of a like sickly greenish hue. Juxtaposed with the dark, like black vestments of a kind of Wild West preacher. It's a while since I've actually given myself a project like this to work on. I gotta say, I've missed it. Like, beyond like just coming up with D&D stuff, having an actual thing to work on, I feel like it helps you just improve faster. Gives wizardy vibe. I do want it to kind of have that vibe of like forbidden magic. Like, to an extent, he is like a wizard or a sorcerer, more so in the like biblical sense of magic is bad and is a sin. Yeah, something kind of like that. Is at least what I had in mind. For the preacher. We could, however, because we've got plenty of time, go give a look, have a look at more of a kind of uptight, discerning, tall, thin, borderline skeletal preacher man. There are elements I don't like in this version that I will fix, such as this big old penguin flipper that I've given him. That's the vibe he has. He's almost got a Danny DeVito penguin vibe from was it the Tim Burton Batman movie? Like, he's almost got like that vibe. I'm the penguin, meh. You know, in which he wasn't just like a short dude, he was a straight up horrible mutant penguin man. Speaking of Little Nightmares, I don't want to get too close to the tall man with like this character design. I like the idea of, you know, still having him have his like hands twisted in a horrible like unnatural curl. Like, that's the thing. No matter what, I want this fucker to look unnatural. I still wanted to have like horrible vacant eyes, but we'll sink in those cheeks this time. Just really fuck up these proportions. Give him like some kind of hair. need to be careful about banging my mic with my head, because, I mean, one, I can't imagine it sounds great. But two, I don't want to accidentally mute myself again. Fucking, I'm vigilant about that shit now. There's the wind picking up a bit outside. I don't know if you guys can hear through the mic. It is very windy over here in jolly old England right now. Oh, it's not as windy as it was the other night. Like, Jesus. Something maybe like that, like a more tall, thin version of the preacher. I think I'm gonna stick with like the monstrous version, the kind of the bloated kind of vibes, but I do like this version. We might be able to use him in something else. Just gonna extend the canvas a little bit. The last characters that I will start designing tonight are a few of the switch up my seating. Are a few of the more maybe noteworthy townsfolk, and the idea that I had surrounding the townsfolk there is at least one townsfolk who speaks. There are two lines attributed to the townsfolk, and those lines are, "You ain't welcome round here anymore, you just might as well go." And later on, right before he raises his fist as the righteous hand of God, they beg the drifter, assumedly for their lives. And I like the idea that these are the same townsperson. And I like the idea that that townsperson is perhaps a snake. A snake person. A snurson. Whereas some of the other townsfolk will be sheep. Literally the lowest level of like literary metaphor, or like visual metaphor. Oh, this person is kind of sneaky and two-faced. Well, they're a snake now. Oh, these people are just following blindly. Oh, they're sheeple. So we're gonna have a snurson and a bunch of sheeple. Chat, can we get a snurson train going? Yeah. This is looking too muppety already. Okay. Maybe better to kind of start with a general idea of the body layout and go from there. I kind of want to put this character in one of those like big, you know, the dead fancy, like, I'm a rich person from the Wild West. One of those kinds of dresses. I'm from the south of America. Not South America, but, you know, I'm from the Yeehaw places. But I'm fancy. Oh, I'm getting the vapors. Man, I've not improved in that accent since playing Aurora, have I? One day I'll find an accent that I'm good at. Because it ain't my own accent. I'm terrible at that one. If I get like Wild West dress, like, you know what I'm looking for. Yes, yeah, okay, here we go. Copy image. Something a little like that vibe, but with a longer skirt. And without the hat and the gun. But like this kind of like the high collar. And yes, I have given the snake person snitties. Hey Brad, what if in when you eventually run Eberron, I played a UNT and it's just this fucker? For those who don't know, UNT are snake people. Give them one of those dead long kind of Wild West / Victorian era, like the cigarette extenders. we don't see the bottom half of the body because it's a big long skirt. So do they have legs under there? Do they have a snake tail? Who knows? Maybe we give them like one of those like a little hat that has like a veil over it, under it or something. You know, just something like that maybe. And I do very much want this kind of in-universe to be like a weird, like... Maybe these people aren't actually like snake people. And sheep people, maybe they're human. But just because this is the point of view, from the point of view of the main character, people that this, the main character likely once thought of as friends, maybe they see them. Maybe this is just how they see them. Just cut those shapes out real quick instead of trying to go around them. Quicker to just do that. Same with kind of the bottom of the skirt, we can just kind of get messy with it. And walk it back. She should have that collar thingy that some snakes. Oh, like the I think it's referred to as a hood, like what like king cobras and shit have. That could be a dope idea, actually. I'm not in love with this snake design right now, so we'll definitely take a second pass at this bitch. I think for now we're going to hide the preacher just so that I have a bit more room and I don't have to extend the canvas again. You know, thinking about it, when I was Hey, what's up, Cameron? How you doing, man? Now that I think about it, when I was thinking about this project earlier, because, you know, obviously I've been planning on doing this for a little while. And I've known I was doing this stream all day. So I've just been kind of planning stuff in my head so that I didn't just hop into this blind. Maybe this has like some of this shit. Maybe this time I won't give us snitties. I did envision the character at one point with like a King Cobra hood. like that. Maybe angle the eyes more as well. Like, that's the thing, we've got these versions of the characters so far. But I definitely at some point want to take a second pass at a few of them. And just kind of push the stylization a bit. I kind of want this to end up looking like real, like, stylized. Get some more like angular bits and shit. You know, thingy the pose. Hell yeah. Good. Good to hear you're not too bad, Cam. Thank you very much for joining the stream. In case you don't know, which you probably don't, this is a little project I'm working on. I don't know if you've ever heard of the band Poor Man's Poison, but they're a good band, and they have a song called Hell's Coming With Me. And I've had an idea in the back of my head for years. I think I wanted to do it as a college project at one point, I think. To do a comic based on a song. And I've had a few different songs in mind to kind of do this with. And the one that I kind of have the best kind of visuals in my head for is this song, Hell's Coming With Me by Poor Man's Poison. Never heard of them, but they sound interesting. I'll give them a listen. Hell yeah, man. I can, either I or someone else can send you a link to the song at some point, either over Discord or Facebook or what have you. Yeah, okay, I'm liking that design a lot better. I like giving people these like half capes. I just think it fucks as a character design choice. Yeah, something like that. Maybe have a belt or something. Yeah, I like this. Thank you, Atala, for the suggestion of the Cobra Hood. I think that really does tie it together, actually. So again, just quickly. I do think the different dress works better as well. I think the other one was just a bit... One, it was a bit plain. Didn't have a whole lot going on. Whereas having like these bits hanging down, it's just more visually interesting, you know? I think later on when I'm like pushing some of these and trying to like figure out a style, I think I'm gonna take some inspiration from like Darkest Dungeon, because I have always loved the art style of that game, and I follow the artist on many socials. Trudy Castle, also known as Lady T. She has some very, 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 very good work. Kind of a strange mix of like illustrated and painted. Actually, I'm gonna go in. I'm just gonna thingy that out real quick. I'm actually gonna do that so that we can maybe play around with her having some kind of like brooch or something when we like actually develop the design more. Where is the preacher? So yeah, there is the snake lady, and we'll get some sheepy townsfolk in. We'll get some townsfolk looking a bit sheepish. Terrible puns. Kind of a timid looking one. Over here. Probably get up an image of what a sheep looks like instead of just winging it. Sheep. Yeah, cool. Okay. And again, this doesn't need to be super detailed. We're just trying to get like the vibes of like a character down. And next stream, we'll be actually going into each of these character designs. I say next stream, probably over the next few streams. We'll be going into some of these designs and kind of improving them, adapting them into like the kind of final stylization that we're gonna kind of go with. You know, really try and push some of the design choices. What am I doing? Why do I keep doing a new thing? I can just... Again, doesn't matter if it's not like perfect. That's something I'm actively like trying to learn myself. Through doing stuff like this, things don't have to be perfect. They just have to be done. Because I have a huge problem with, like, stopping a project and restarting a thing because I don't like a tiny aspect of it. I mean, I redid the map for a D&D campaign that I'm not currently running, like, 9 times. Because I wasn't super happy with each iteration. And each time it got better. But eventually you've just got to say, like, enough's enough. Sheep number 1. The sheep townsfolk don't really matter. I might not like necessarily stick to these versions of these characters as closely as I will perhaps the snake lady and the preacher and the drifter. The townsfolk are just kind of background noise. I just want a kind of clear design for what they might look like. Something like that. Hell yeah. I think that works. It's just kind of a visualization. For the townsfolk. So we can kind of go in and hide the original version of the drifter. And I believe that leaves us off at a pretty decent place here at the end of the stream. We've got the drifter, a mysterious figure who has been wronged by the people of the town. We have the gluttonous, monstrous preacher who practices black magic. And we have the treacherous townsfolk. Some snakes. Some sheep. Too afraid to go against the status quo. I'm happy with this. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. Which means next stream, which will be on Friday, starting at 11:30 p.m. GMT, we can start diving into these characters and really just pushing the designs, trying to get them as finalized as possible. After that will be Monday's stream, in which I will be working more on Fooler a Clown's banner. And then we'll continue this project next Tuesday. Important note, from next week onwards, I will have 2 extra days freed up, available for me to potentially stream. Because currently I pretty much cannot stream on a Wednesday or a Thursday. I get home too late. But from next week, I get home earlier. So I might be able to stream on those days. I haven't decided anything quite yet. And what I might end up just doing is like throwing up an impromptu unscheduled stream. Not necessarily art, maybe, you know, just some nice chill game or something. Maybe play a bit of Stardew or Minecraft or some shit like that. Who knows? But I'm not penciling anything in just yet. But keep an eye on my stream schedule and on my Twitter, Tumblr, such. Because I'll absolutely be posting on there if I do decide to do anything kind of more concrete. But until then, thank you all for joining me on this stream. It has been a blast. Thank you all for lending your ideas to the project. One of the things that I've enjoyed most about streaming these is that I get input from you guys. I get input from other people. And input like of ideas that I would never have had I just been doing this on my own. So thank you, genuinely. I genuinely couldn't ask for a better audience. I really appreciate you guys being here. And with that said, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Don't wink, that's weird.